what I've been really pleasantly surprised with is how rapidly the community is growing, even without the sacrament necessarily, right?
Yeah.
And seeing how that really supports people in their growth. You know, I was even surprised back in Jamaica how many, quite honestly, we had a lot of senior citizens come down, you know, people in their late 60s, 70s. And I think what you're touching on, the courage that maybe comes with life experience,
right,
and taking the risk, you know, not worrying about the stigma and the legal ramifications, et cetera. I have found more mature populations are more mature in their approach to the experience, which seems to fit well within this kind of container. And we're starting to get some 20-somethings in the church. It's not that they're not sincere by any means, but there is a much more recreational approach. I'm interested to know the folks that are coming into your church. Is this primarily coming in for a spiritual experience, or is there a lot of attempt to recover from trauma or, you know, relief from depression, anxiety, or is it directly the spiritual aspect that they're coming for?
Yeah, I would say not so much the spiritual.
Okay.
I think that they're coming in, like you say, to heal. They're coming in for community. You know, because we started in Salt Lake City, I am Mormon, or, you know, we're getting a lot of people who've left that religion. So a very structured, formal, demanding religion where you really are stripped of your autonomy. And so what we're getting a lot of older people who they've hit a point in life and they're like, I just think there should be more. Mm-hmm. And so they like what it is we're throwing out to the world, or they've read about us, heard about us, something like that. And then they look. Then because once you leave Mormonism, you typically don't go to another religion. You're just like, to hell with it all. Mm-hmm. And, you know, don't believe in God or anything. And a lot of people have the pathway I have where they feel the community, and then they start to redefine worship. And so for me, you know, I think you're familiar with one tenet, which is you can commune directly with the divine and receive guidance. And so that being the case, I think we don't need dogma and hierarchy, right? You and the divine can figure things out. And so I think people start to do that, and they start to redefine worship. And the way I define it is connecting with myself, others, and the universe. And so I think through those connections, through the healing, a lot of people, it's kind of fun to watch. They do start talking, thinking more about the divine, about what is out there beyond the normal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with people coming in for healing, because that, like you're saying, I think generally serves as a pathway towards the spiritual experience, right? Which in my perception, that's where the healing comes from anyway, is this reconnecting with the self, reconnecting with the divine. I loved in the article your allergic to dogma quote, and I just felt reading that there were so many things that you and I had in common in terms of perspective and even upbringing. I was brought up Catholic, not Mormon, which isn't quite as culty, but it's still a fucking cult. Let's be real here.
Well, because it's a centuries old cult. But yeah, in ceremonies out here, it just must be so aggravating for other people, because it's always Mormons and Catholics just talking about the trauma that we carry, you know.